Hello and welcome to the latest episode of You Should Have Been Here Last Week, the podcast hosted by myself, Steve Gribbin, and fellow comedian Paul Ricketts.
I love you all, I really do.
Each episode, Paul and I will pull aside the velvet curtains of the comedy world to expose the writhing, hidden workings in beneath. We'll be looking at the insiders, the lowriders, the money spiders, the grinners, the beginners, the sinners, the winners, the speakers after dinners, the fairground barkers, the up with the larkers, all the cornucopia of comedic conquerors that go to make up this biz that we call show. And today's very special guests are one of the most beloved acts on the comedy circuit today. The hilarious, silly, filthy act that is the one and only, the Raymond and Mr Timpkins Revue. Welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
The first question, I will tell the viewers that this is the 50th attempt we've made to make this interview.
At least.
It feels like we've talked to you now. I feel like I'm on the journey to your retirement. I feel like I'm going to retire. I'm going to retire.
Not rude.
So, nice, easy question to begin with. Tony, how did you get the name?
Yeah.
Well, look, this is what happened. We were working in a band in the Portsmouth area at the time called Uncle Barney's Atomic Wobblers, and we were journeying back from a gig, and Andy and I sort of had this idea of doing something together. Involving a stylophone and a guitar. We'd done a little bit at a Battle of the Bands venture down in Portsmouth, which I was hosting, and we were in the back of the van coming back from a gig, and we tried to think of the worst name we could think of. And really, that is how it came about. I think it went through a couple of different incarnations before we settled on Raymond and Mr Timpkins, but we just wanted something that sounded completely underwhelming and forgettable. And that's really where it came from.
What were the other options?
Well, I think there were variations on a theme. I think the Raymond changed, and I think the Timpkins was, there were variations on the name, but it was basically the format of the name that was there in the first place.
And where did you start? How did you actually get started? Where were your first gigs?
Well, the first one that we actually appeared together was, as I said, the Battle of the Bands down in on the pier in Southsea. I was hosting that, which was like a South Coast Battle of the Bands. There was 4 bands every week, and you sort of emceed it basically and brought the bands on and told them where they're from and who they were, and they did a little short set of 2 or 3 numbers, and then at the end of the 4 bands, we had 3 judges from local media. So you had newspapers, recording studios, whatever, people, representatives from those who were judging. Venue owners, and they'd nip off for 10-15 minutes and discuss scores, who was going to win, who was going through to the next round, whatever. So you had 10-15 minute break where you could either have nothing, bar open, everyone go and have a drink, or you could do something, you could fill it. And my wife had found a stylophone in a charity shop one day, and she'd rung me at work and said, £2, charity shop, stylophone, do you want it? And I said, yeah, get it. Yeah. So she got it, and I took it down to the Back of the Bands that night and just said, any requests, got 10 minutes to fill, any requests, we play on this. So someone shouted out, Any Dream Will Do, Jason Donovan, which was number 1 at the time. So I just picked it out and we played it. And he was in the audience watching, and he said, next week I'll bring the guitar down and we'll do it together. So that's really how it started. And the next week he came down in women's underwear.
As you do, yeah.
Yeah. And joined in, and that's where it started.
Right. Because you guys were very heavily associated with one of the most famous venues on the comedy scene was the Wedgwood Rooms in...
Yeah.
You were you resident compares there as well at one point? You were.
We were. When it first started, I think the comedy club started around 1991.
Wow.
Around 90. And we were hosting it as the band, as Uncle Barney's Atomic Wobblers, and then as the band disappeared, Andy and I took it on ourselves. So from 91 it got to,
So what happened to the band, the other members? Did any of them go on to greater success?
Well, I married one, so she went on to massive success.
Me, the other one. We're not married.
No, different one. Yeah.
Yeah, just to clear that up. Yeah. And of course, one of the reasons, obviously, we both love your act, etc. But one of the reasons that we had you on the podcast is that you're now you're doing the longest retirement tour ever. And it's how many dates has this retirement thing taken in? It must be like 60 or 70, isn't it?
Well, it was initial statement, I think, around February, March last year, which was literally just saying, look, we're going to retire next year. So we, hit, and then we set a date for it, which was the 5th of April into tax year 2026. And that's what it's always been. There's been no tour. We've just fulfilled the diary.
Yeah.
Kept the diary going. And people say, God, this is the longest retirement. Why do you keep extending it? So we're not. This is the date that we set a year ago. It just seems like it's been a very long time.
Yeah. Basically, the accountant found out first. That's it.
Yeah.
And of course, I have to say that it's been a very clever thing to do because you've ended up getting lots of awards because now you're going.
Too much work out of it. Yeah. You're supposed to be a nice, simple ease into retirement, and it's turned out to be far more work than we've ever had.
That's good. Backfired, yeah.
Well,
it's been intense. Yeah.
I was there at the comedians party where you got the comedians. What was the award, Andy? What was it that you got?
Outstanding Achievement Award.
That was it. Yeah.
Yes.
We're very grateful for it.
Well, I'm
That's
glad.
great.
I mean, you said more about it in this show than you did on the night. It was. So here's your chance to tell other comics how gratified you are.
So again,
We are incredibly gratified, incredibly flattered by it. I mean, as far as I can tell from looking at previous years, people have had to die to get this award.
Well, actually, I must put my. I've got
Apart
one.
from you, Steve, I know you got one of the early.
I'm nearly dead.
Yeah.
Yes. But there's a lot of posthumous awards for it.
Yeah,
I mean,
was,
I know you
yeah.
got it early days, and we're really honoured to have it.
Yes.
I mean, even if I died, I think I'd only come second. I think
Can I just ask? So how? Obviously it's quite a unique act, and who comes up with the ideas, or how do you actually, sit down and write the stuff? How does that come about?
Well, I think there needs to be an explanation for people who have no idea.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Your
Go
act
on, you
is.
give an explanation, then, Paul.
Well, no, not me. I'm not in the act.
Oh. All right then. Yeah, go on. Describe your act to someone that's never seen it.
that's quick, isn't it?
I think possibly it's very heavily prop based, obviously, music based. I don't know. I think in the 20-minute set, there's like 140 different tracks of music, clipped and edited, with props that go with the tracks. Really, I mean, a lot of people say it's a misheard lyric act. It's not. A very small part of it is a misheard lyric. We misrepresent lyric, take them literally or whatever. They're not misheard. Some of them are misheard, but
A lot of puns, really, isn't it?
yeah, there's a lot of music puns, isn't it? Yeah, it was reviewed once as Tim Weimer music, which
Right?
I don't know. Is that appropriate? Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great. Yeah, that's a very nice description, isn't it? But yeah, so come back again. I mean, do you sort of one of you say, "Oh, I've got this idea," or do you sit down in a session, or what happens?
No, it is literally one of us to hear something or see something. I mean, it's not just music. I mean, there's a lot of adverts and then TV themes and stuff, and you one of us will watch or hear something and suggest it to the other, generally in the car on the way to a gig, and then I'm the one who does the audio. Andy does all the visual stuff, so I'll go away and edit something together, and then we generally play it. I'll play it to him on the car on the way to a gig and say, "Do you want to do this tonight?" And he'll say, "Yeah," and we'll stick it in somewhere and try it.
Yeah.
But everything in it is quite it's quite short, quite time-wise, everything's quite short. I mean, we try and edit the fat off everything, just get down to the meat of the gag. So, you know, we could add, some years we've added 10 or 15, 20 routines to the set, and it's been less than a minute, you know. It's ridiculous, really. I mean, I don't know how one-liners do an Edinburgh show every year. I mean, it's punishing.
I mean, Andy, I have to say, it's a really tightly choreographed piece, and yet I think, how many sets have you got?
Sets, we can do 20 or 26 really, or we'd like a 55-minute show, but that's sort of gone now. We don't do that anymore. So it's the same. The 26 contains the 20. So
if you switch the set, how do you remember them?
No, it's really hard. Yeah, so I think it's it's the thing. You remember one way, and then if you've got to start changing it, then that becomes a problem for me, particularly. Yeah,
but it's muscle memory, and I think the way that we've worked out to make the 26 down to the 20 is to take out big sections rather than try and we'll take that gag out of that routine and shorten that routine. You know, take the whole bit out. You know, and just where the edits are. We always have to go through it just before we go on stage. You know, right? It's the 26 or it's the 20. Or, I mean, when we was in Edinburgh in 2018, we had to perform about 12 different sets, I think, up there.
Yeah.
Is it a bit like when you got a mixtape and you've heard it loads of times? You know what songs come in next?
Yeah, exactly that.
Yeah, exactly what it is. Yeah, it is muscle memory, but the fun bit comes when you're sticking new stuff in. You know, that's when that is fun. I mean, that's the bit that you're both comics. It's the bit that gets you through the rest of the year, putting new bits in and working them in and seeing how they go on the night. The excitement as you get closer to performing that new bit or whatever never goes away, does it?
Yeah, I mean, that's the joy of doing comedy, is that you can have an idea at 4 o'clock in the afternoon or whatever. Exactly. And no one can stop you. And of course, conversely, if it goes well, woohoo! But if it goes badly, it's on you as well. But it's a fantastic feeling. Yeah, I want to say, you and I did an audition for the cruise ships, as you probably remember, in 22 or 23. And I do remember that you and Andy, the bookers were going, can you lose the bit where you pull something out of his arse? And you said no, didn't you?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
I've actually really admired that.
We said before the thing that we weren't going to change, we couldn't change it. So yeah, it was less ballsy once it appeared.
There didn't seem to be a point to go there and perform something that you weren't going to be able to perform on the ship, or in the corporate or whatever the booker was there for, because this is what we do. All right, we could edit it out in a 5 or 10 minute spot, but if you want us to do 40 minutes, then this is going to be in there.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I agree. I mean, I wanted to talk just briefly about, because it's a very highly specialised act, and it does hark back, I think, to a lot of musical or that sort of thing. I just wanted to say, did you have any influences when you were putting it together? You thought, we want it to be like this, or was there anything that really sort of came through?
I think subliminally there probably was. I mean, at the time of us starting to work Raymond Mr Timpkins together, Reeves and Mortimer were very big. I mean, subliminally, we wanted to be silly. We wanted it to be odd compared to perhaps what was around at the time. I think personally, heavily influenced by my dad's comedy tastes, which were very much Spike Milligan and the Goons and things like that, which have always been integral to putting stuff together. I think especially in the Edinburgh show, where we had to do a 55 minute show, it was quite heavily influenced by Goons, whether that be the sound effects or the silliness of the gags. I think subliminally there has been influence, but I think we've sort of ploughed our own furrow in a lot of ways. I don't think anyone's done or been quite so stuck on the music side of it the way that we've done it. But I mean, there are other acts that obviously have done similar things in the past, I guess, but I can't say I've ever seen anything. So I can't say we've been influenced by similar acts.
There are so few. I've got to use the term spesh acts, which
Yeah.
but there's a lack of them. And with you going, I mean, how do you think this? Are you going to be replaced by? Have you seen any sort of newish acts that have taken up the mantle?
No, I think
Really?
going back to when we started. I think you spoke about this before. The Spesh Act was very much part of every bill.
It was.
You used to have a Spesh Act, I think, on just about every bill, stuck in the middle of two stand-ups, and it just broke everything up. I think comedy's become cool, or the want is to be a cool stand-up rather than someone who exposes themselves to someone a bit silly. There are some good silly actor, and I think you spoke before, like Harriet Dyer's very, very silly.
Yeah.
Joe Kent Waters is daft. There's a lot of daftness around, but there's certainly not as much as there was, and there's not a willingness, I don't think, for people to particularly bring a Spesh Act to the circuit. Is there that opportunity anymore? I mean, you don't get the opportunity to 5-minute open spot isn't really enough to display what you want to do in a Spesh Act, I don't think.
Part of the problem is that younger people coming up, they don't see that on television anymore.
Yeah.
So it's not even in their consciousness anymore. So when they see it live, there might be a bit of resistance to it.
Yeah, and they don't know the tunes.
I think there is that problem with the music, isn't there? That it's not ubiquitous anymore. That everyone's got their own little listening bubble of what they like listening to, and there's not that. You don't get a song that goes across in our day. Radio 1, Radio 2, Multicolours, Rock Shop, whatever was on the TV. You get it on everywhere. Top of the Pops. It doesn't happen anymore. So it's very difficult to pick tunes, especially sort of modern day tunes that everyone knows.
Very true. I mean, I found the same thing. I have to try and second guess what the audience is going to, know. And also, a lot of those tunes, the only way that they get a lifespan is if they're used in a video game or a movie. And then a new generation will, discover somebody like Linda Ronstadt, who was used in The Last of Us, and that became a huge hit.
I've never heard of Linda Ronstadt.
Yes, you have. Stop it. What was your question going to be, Paul?
Well, my question was, why are you stopping then? What's made you stop?
The travelling has knocked it out of us, I think, really. I mean, I know you're still doing it, Steve. You're up and down on the railways. I don't know how you do it, but...
Well, sometimes, especially after last weekend, I do ask myself that fucking question. It's just, I can well understand it. I mean, you are one of the most widely travelled acts on the you've been everywhere in the UK, haven't you?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
We are particularly appreciated up north, aren't we? Which is a problem as well, because it's north seems to be absolutely gorgeous, but they're more up for what we do up there. They're less judgy, less arms crossed and impress me. They're more, we're out for a nice time. Let's have a good time. So sorry, Southern audiences, but you're not looking.
You're not prepared to move up there then?
No, it's cold. We'll go further south, not further north.
I mean, are you both planning to do other things? I mean, will you still be doing creative stuff, or what are you planning to do?
Yeah, I do a bit of audio stuff for radio, so I'll continue to do that. It'll open up a little bit more of a window to be able to do a bit more of that. And of course, that's working from home. I'm not traveling out to use studios or anything. I'm doing it from home. And also I do some charity music quizzes, and the creativity that I need for that, because it's a very silly quiz, I record skits and all sorts of nonsense to go with that. So that'll keep that side going. Miss the green rooms, we'll miss the stage, most of the shows, not all of them, but a lot of the clubs are great, miss all that side of it, I'm sure. But who knows what we miss? I mean, I might miss driving for 5 hours to go 100 miles on a Friday night.
No, you won't.
No, it's unlikely. It's unlikely.
25 on a Friday, yeah.
And then Andy's planning to go off to Portugal, aren't you, in a couple of years' time?
After a couple of years, probably, yeah. That's the plan. Go and retire over there.
Right, what, you going to do anything when you get there? You
Do up an old house, trim olive trees and, sit in the sun.
Wow, press your own olive oil.
Yeah, that sort of shit, yeah.
The ankle tag won't be going off so often.
It does sound a bit like a Sunday BBC early evening serial. Your plan, Andy.
Yeah, I'd watch it.
And then all of a sudden, there's a murder.
Yeah.
It'll be me, probably, yeah.
I have a question, which is probably the reason we've brought you on. I mean, you could have sold your act, couldn't you? Did you think about that?
Well, yeah, someone offered.
How much?
One person. Well, this is the problem, isn't it? Putting a value on it. I mean, it's 35 years of work, and the guy asked about it, and he said, wanted to buy it lock, stock, and barrel, and how much would it be? So the immediate thought is, I've got a fucking clue. What's it worth? I mean, to us, it's priceless. It's, it got us through 35 years of not having to work properly. But so I said to the guy, I reckon a year's wages. And I didn't mean that as in he works for a year free and gives us all his money. What I meant was it would cost him what we would earn per year on the circuit, and then he could have it, and he could have it for another 30 years or whatever he wanted to do with it. But he was thinking maybe 300 quid.
God.
I was thinking a tenner, and I'm going to offer it to you. No, because I think me and Steve could take over your act.
You could?
Yeah.
And we'd even keep the name, but we'll say tribute. Raymond and Mr Timpkins tribute act, and then we could book a whole evening out, just the two of us.
Yeah. Well, why not? Give it a go.
We could change the name slightly. The Raymond and Mr Pimpkins review.
No one will guess. No.
Yeah, I guess I'm Mr Pimpkins. I could see myself here.
There's been a lot of variations over the years.
That leads me to, I wanted to ask about this because there was talk about, obviously someone's tried to buy the app, but then you did have a little bit of a contretemps with someone who basically stole your act, didn't they?
Britain's Got Talent, the strange young man who tried to do it on his own.
Well, I mean, what actually happened there?
Well, we think he was probably working as a rep at a holiday camp, saw us doing it, and tried it. We found paper versions of our signs tucked away behind scenery when we went back to the holiday camp again. Yeah, and Tony destroyed them.
My God.
Well, they were destroyed, I should say. Yeah. And then, all of a sudden there was someone on Britain's Got Talent, but whether Britain's Got Talent got him to do it or, they saw he was doing something very similar to us, if not exactly the same, and then had him on to do it, I don't know. But, the comedy circuit was amazing. They sort of gathered up in front of us. They circled the wagons beautifully, and
it's one of the good aspects of social media because people just supposing your videos and his videos, just going, look, he's just ripped it off. That's it was a fantastic sort of thing that people did.
It's lovely. Yeah, really appreciated. Yeah,
just say fair play to Equity as well, because they got involved, and I'm not sure how much influence they had on the guy not going any further on the show, but I had to send a comparison video of because online you could get, I think they only broadcast like a minute or whatever of his performance, but online you could get his full audition. So I found that and had a video of us, and then I had to pick out the comparisons, at 1 minute 50, here's his joke, whatever, here's our joke, and then I think I did, he had a 15-minute audition video, and I think within 6 or 7 minutes I picked out 23 copies or something like that, and just said to Equity, look, I've had enough watching this, but here's 23 copies in three or four, 7 minutes or whatever it was. And they just said, "Oh yeah, fair enough," and went away and dealt with it, and we didn't really hear any more about it. But I think they got pretty heavily involved in it. Yeah.
Good. I'm glad.
John Maloney knew the judge fella, didn't he, as well? And he got
David Williams.
He personally contacted him as well, and David Williams wasn't aware that it was other people were doing it, so he jumped in as well. So that was good.
I mean, have you been asked by Britain's Got Talent to be on the show?
Every year.
Yeah, I mean, even since, which is really sort of strange because for 7 years building up to it, they'd asked, and we'd always been quite polite and said, "Thanks for the offer, but we're not interested at this stage." At this, we never said never, and we never said anything rude. We just not at the moment. Thanks for asking. Good luck. And then the copy happened. I can't remember what year it was, but whenever it was, and then every year since then they back in touch. But I think the researchers are just students who change every year anyway, and probably haven't got any clue what went on in the past. But yeah, they still get in touch and say, "Are you interested in Britain's Got Talent?"
Yeah, it's weird. I've been asked 3 times, and you've been asked, Steve, several times, haven't you?
Yeah, I got asked this year. Yeah. Again, it actually was the same person that asked me last time, but this time he said, "Oh, I just want you to know, I know comics talk about it, but we've got a lot better now. We're a lot better." And I said, no, because I know what it is. We're a lot better. We're not going to destroy your life,
I think it's the fact that you hand over the editing rights to them, and they can do what they want. They can make you look however they want. I mean, look at our mate Steve Best on, apparently his gig wasn't anything like what was broadcast. So
yeah, and I haven't got any dying relative to give me a backstory. That's I'm not prepared to poison someone in my family just to get on it.
You want it or not, Paul?
I don't want it.
Yeah. How much do you want it?
I don't want it, Andy. I don't know what's about it.
It's war work.
I'm just turning down stardom. That's all I'm doing.
Going back to that, because Paul and I often discuss this on the podcast, about people that nick stuff. Is that they're very lazy. I mean, but it took about stupidity as well, that guy, to pick on probably one of the most unique acts on the comedy circuit to rip off. Fuck did he think he was going to get away with it? It's just like, the mind boggles,
Well, come May, he can. Let's face it. As soon as you... so later in April, will we see him suddenly getting better and bigger gigs? And completely steals your act. Because... once you've given up, you can't really chase people down then, can you? I
don't think you can copyright gags anyway. I think we've gone through this before. We went through with we're allowed to say names, aren't we? But Mr Pasquale took a routine off us and put it on his Christmas DVD, and the agent we were with then started legal proceedings and then realised it was going to cost us hundreds of thousands of pounds, and we just dropped it. I don't think you can copyright gags, can you? I think it's that fact of just changing a name or a place or a word, and it's suddenly a new gag. So, I mean, in the early days, we used to video performances and send them to ourselves in sealed envelopes, and never open them.
And Equity told me to do that, but it doesn't hold up. I mean, it's not foolproof, is it, at all?
No. I mean, the fact is your date and time stamped on it, I guess, but how effective that would be, I don't know. It's
basically the court costs. If it's exactly the same, I mean, I went into this when Keith Chegwin set up an app with tons of other people's jokes on.
Oh, yeah,
I remember that.
And I went to Equity, and it depends who you talk to at Equity. Some people there are useless. Others are a bit more sort of, they can do stuff for you. And it all came down to, if it's exactly the same, you had a case. But if it wasn't, it's just minor changes. And you couldn't do it. With Keith Chegwin, though, there were some that were exactly the same. And we actually contacted the acts whose material was stolen. They sent their versions of the jokes. We compared them to Chegwin's. And I sent a message to Keith Chegwin saying, Equity is now getting involved in this. And then within 24 hours, he made it a free app. So then we couldn't do anything.
Okay. Yeah.
carried on doing it. I mean, mainly Gary Delaney and Milton Jones. Tons of their jokes were on there, weren't they?
Yeah.
Because they're so well, they're great one-liners and stuff.
And their thing
of course, yeah.
was, of course, that if you do take someone to court, the papers tend to be on the side of the person who nicked your material.
How dare you?
Yeah, exactly. They go, no, what a spoil sport. We're not allowed to tell his jokes. It's just sort of like, am I going to get, prosecuted for telling a joke at work? And it all goes that way.
It's quite a unique industry in that respect, isn't it? Where I can't think of any other job where, things would be that strict legally. But, but I mean, people always make the comparison of, I saw a covers band. They weren't, the band weren't getting arsey about them using it, and that. But the point is, they're making money off the back of someone else's gags, which, for 35 years you sit there and write your career basically, and then someone can just walk in, pick the best of the circuit and perform it on cruise ships or whatever they want to do.
Yeah.
Some circuits, it's fine, isn't it? Some circuits they do borrow. There's a pool of gags and they all do them. But I think that was a big difference with alternative comedy, is that you do write it yourself, and it is,
That was the big difference between, the so-called alternative comedy circuit and the sort of the old mainstream. I mean, I actually did a gig once with Les Dennis, and he said, back in the day, in the 70s and 80s, people would turn up late to a gig and go, right, who's done the two nuns in a bath joke? Oh, okay. And then they'd have like a checklist. And, oh, God. Yeah.
Well, there's a story about the Comedians, a TV show, and there was a London comic that was going to make his first appearance, and Bernard Manning was the MC, and so the London act, he was nervous, so he wrote just one word for each joke on an idiot board, and had a set list and stuck it up next to the camera. Bernard Manning comes on MC and does every single one of the jokes, and then says, "Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome on stage the original comic from London," and brought the bloke on, and he's done all the gags. What can I do?
Oh my God.
So he still had to do them.
It's like us following Ivan Brackenbury.
Oh, yeah. In some ways. In other ways, we do not follow Ivan Brackenbury.
No, you don't. No. Well,
can I just add, as far as, on stage following Ivan Brackenbury.
He normally follows you. Allegedly.
No, I was going to make a joke there, but I turned it down.
Okay. Oh, God.
We've actually finally completed this interview. And
Well done, everyone.
So we're going to thank you for being on it. And you've got very little time now. How many gigs left before you go?
When's your last one?
Well, it's currently on the 4th of April in Chesham Comedy Club, end of the line.
Ironic.
Yeah. I'm talking. Yeah.
Well, good luck with all the gigs, and thank you for. I mean, it'll be the first and last time we interview you. Let's face it.
Yeah, thanks for having me, boys. Bye.
Bye.
See you later.
Bye.
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 So that was Raymond and Mr Timpkins, Andy and Tony. Godspeed into retirement.
Yes.
Portugal and Portsmouth. Yes, two wonderful port towns.
Yes.
For both of them.
It could be worse. Could be going to Port Vale.
Yes, that's true.
We wish them luck. That's great.
Yeah, I fear that there will be some acts that will inherit their material and get on the circuit and get a living out of it, because it's all there. It's up for grabs, isn't it? Really, in a way.
Yeah, but I mean, I think as well. I mean, it's obvious when you talked about them. They're such hard workers as well. It's a lot of prep and a lot of work gone into that. And so maybe if someone's going to take it on, they might be too lazy. I don't know.
Yeah, that's true, because it does take a lot of work, and there's a lot of props, and they have to travel in a van to contain the props, and I've helped them get their stuff in. It ain't easy.
No.
It's the end of this particular episode, and if you've enjoyed it, as I always say, and I always say, as I always say, if you enjoyed it, subscribe, like, tell your friends, send us money, spread the word. Any other new phrases that we can put up for the finish?
Vary your methods of telling people. I mean, we did say, the banners behind planes, maybe smoke signals. That might be quite a good way of, bringing some different methods of communication. Telepathy. Could you try? If anyone's good at telepathy, could you just, send this podcast into other people's brains?
Yeah.
I'm sure that
song form.
Yeah.
As the guests have dictated, what you should do is take a song, change the lyrics.
Actually, this is a joke for any telepaths listening.
Yeah, I heard
always
that.
wanted to do that. Yeah, I knew you would.
That's why I laughed. Yeah, that's I'm shocked that you do stuff like that.
You fucking animal. You animal.
Disgusted. You come across a nice person, then you telepath a joke like that.
But please, and also, if you have got any spare money, we'd like you to send us some.
Yes, lots of people have got spare money these days.
They have, haven't they?
Yeah, you have money that you're not assigned to any other sort of purpose.
Yeah.
Send it to us.
If you've got any Bitcoin lying about, that you're not using.
Do you want Bitcoin? Do you really want Bitcoin?
I don't know.
I just have the money. I don't want Bitcoin. I mean, I know it's a bit of an investment thing. Gold. That's what we should ask for.
Yes.
Price.
Always invest in gold. That's what they said, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, basically, if anyone has got a spare sort of like couple of bars of gold bullion in the house, just send it to us.
And we will send back some sort of money in return. What we need to do is to turn into one of those, in times of hardship, all those gold places like Gold for You. Just send your gold to us and we'll send you back money.
Have you any unwanted gold?
Yeah. You must have. Family heirloom. Teeth. Just send it to us. Yeah, we don't want to go too much about it. But anyway, as we said, you just tell a friend, actually, just to listen.
Tell a friend.
Oh, God, we've still got to do the ads, by the way. So one last push on suggestions, please, for products that we can sell.
Yes.
For the next episode, I'm going to make an ad, I think. I'm going to make my own ad.
Okay.
That'll
be interesting.
Yes.
Don't tell me what it is. Surprise me.
Yeah. And they will be the sponsor of this particular podcast.
Ooh. Sponsored by...
Yeah.
Timpkins.
I'm not going to tell you. Not going to tell you.
Timpsons. They're good, aren't they?
They are good. Yeah. It's the key. The key to life.
The key to life. Come to Timpsons.
Or just get your shoes sorted. I suppose that's the good thing there.
Well, yeah, and also get your watch replaced with a strap that's more expensive than the actual watch.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah.
A lot of pain in your life, Steve.
Yeah. Listen, this watch cost me like 20 quid from Lewisham Market, but the strap's about, I think it's about 15, 20 quid for the strap.
So the strap's worth almost as much as the watch.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, at least I think all in, that's quite a cheap deal. So Lewisham Market, they should sponsor us. Looking for a cheap watch? Come down to Lewisham Market.
That's right, yeah. Yeah, I mean, watch for any younger viewers. This used to how people used to tell the time, like that. Yeah, and this goes out to all the acts that could do with one of these. You see.
Oh God, you and your time watching.
Yes.
As soon as someone else goes on stage, you're looking at your wrist, aren't you? Going, well, let's see.
No. If I'm pissed off at them, I put my fucking phone on and time them on the phone.
That's even worse. You don't flash them from the back of the room, do you? Go, your 20 minutes is up.
No, I don't do that. No. Just make a mental note of them. Anyway, I don't do that.
Have I got into your little book? Because I've been known to go over.
No, not yet.
Not yet.
Somebody that I was working with this weekend, I can't name who they were. They went, "Oh, I went over by 2 minutes," and I nearly said, "You fucking went over by about 10 minutes."
Because you knew. Because you.
Well, I had the evidence was there.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're going off at a tangent.
Yeah, I know. What you should do is give up comedy and work at the Olympics. That's what you should do.
Right.
The timekeeper, Steve Gribbett. So we'll say goodbye. Goodbye. Oh, you got a punch? Punch to the audience. This is
Goodbye. No, it's like I'm fisting, pumping them.
Well, I've got to tell the people listeners that you are now doing double fisting, and which is an image which I think might not please them. Steve Griffin double fisting.
Double fist of fury. How to change the meaning? Yeah, double fist of fury. It's a slightly different meaning from fist of fury, but there we go.
Yeah, fist of fun. That's the one I like.
Fist of fun. That's exactly it. Yeah. Hey, anyway, bye to everybody.
Bye.
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 They said you should have been in line.